And we're live. It's Mike Sorg at Sorgatron here for WrestlingMayhemShow.com. This is, of course, the Raw Wrap Up. We do just minutes after Raw has gone off the air. As soon as we can here, get on Google Hangout with some of the guys that were in the Hangout, just hanging out. Hanging out? Sure. All right. Please check out everything else going on at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. And, of course, our friends at IndieWrestling.us. Sign up for the newsletter there. You'll get a free pro wrestling show with guys like AJ Styles and a whole bunch of other names on it. I think Sandman's on that one, too. At least the other one. I don't know. Anyways, a bunch of good names on there. You'll recognize a bunch of them. You won't be disappointed by it. IndieWrestling.us. Go sign up for the newsletter at the bottom corner there. So, with that, who's with me tonight? In the poses from Poughkeepsie, New York, is Mad Mike.
I'm being very angry, aggressive. Michael Rorson now. Mad Mike is my WWE name.
CM Punk pose for those of you on audio, by the way. Also from here in Pittsburgh, PA.
There's no one on audio, Sorg. Why would they refuse watching this face?
I know, right? From the mainstream media, he's mainstream Matt, 1t.blogspot.com, the purveyor of the great Mayhem Mania. He is Matt Carlins. How you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry, Sorg. I was just doing my UFC promotional photos for everybody.
You can depose now. That's fine too.
Everybody, it's in the contracts. Mm-hmm. You have to do 2 fists. If you do just one, it doesn't work. You have to do 2.
I think Brock Lesnar did 1.
Oh, really? I'm going to go check. Brock Lesnar UFC promotional pictures, please. Send them to @MainstreamMatt with 1T.
Yeah, send them all in.
I want to see.
We'll do a collection.
2 fists.
2 fists. Anyways, so Raw. What happened on Raw tonight? So much. We actually have a friend, a correspondent, although he's probably watching the SmackDown match that's being pre-taped right now. Alex Cars is out there at Staples Center in California. So I'm hoping we get a little bit of a report for the Wrestling Mayhem show live this week, Tuesday night at 9 p.m. But tonight, the show, let's start with the end. Right? Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns having their interaction, playing tug-of-war with the belt. I think they've really learned a lot from the IC title hunt. But what do you think, Mad Mike?
Los Angeles does not like Roman Reigns holding that title. They were not fans of it, and I think that was a trial run. I think because if you're going to have 2 California cities and you're relying on one of them to be more the, hey, this is the kind of crowd that's going to cheer for what we want them to, that'd be LA, because it's going to be a lot of not smarky people, but wow, they didn't like it. They didn't like it a lot.
Well, what kind of crowd are we expecting from? I mean, I guess WrestleMania is everything, so it's not like the town is not dependent.
You get the Europeans in there too, so
that's right. You get everything. You get a WrestleMania crowd. You don't get a New York crowd when they were in New York. You don't get a New Orleans crowd. You get a WrestleMania crowd because it is so many people coming out from everywhere. It truly is.
It's the event. It's the event that people travel to. Like
exactly. And in a lot of cases, it does not matter where that thing is. Mm-hmm. Matt, your thoughts?
The thing about the WrestleMania crowds are usually, at least from recent experience, much more forgiving, especially the bigger the crowd you get. So I think, 60,000, 70,000 they're hoping for at Levi's Stadium? I don't think it will be as anti-Roman as a lot of people are suggesting. It's going to be a very big crowd. So even if you look back to last year's WrestleMania, there wasn't a lot of Cena hate in that crowd. That was an accepting crowd. That was a crowd that went along with things. And the crowd at Levi's Stadium will be even bigger than the one in the Superdome.
So they're more appreciative of the WWE product crowd because they paid God knows what to get there.
Yeah, it's not like unlike the night after Raw, where those are like the hardest of the hardcores who are pouring like huge amounts of money, into their trip. Whereas the WrestleMania crowd is, it's more typical fans, a broader fan base. It's not just hardcore fans. There's not just going to be hardcore fans at WrestleMania. There will be a lot of others.
I don't know if you can compare it to last year's crowd, though, because last year's crowd got what they wanted.
True.
This year's crowd is not going to get what they want.
Well, what about WrestleMania 29, Sorg? That was a crowd that didn't get what it wanted. How'd they do?
I don't think there wasn't much backlash on anything, but I was just like, this is what it is. But there was no boring chants or anything during that Cena versus Rock that I've seen. Now
that was a crowd that sat through Brock Lesnar losing to Triple H, CM Punk losing to The Undertaker, and John Cena beating The Rock in the main event. And now, if anything should have turned a crowd, that sequence of results could have done it.
Honestly, I think more people wanted to see Cena beat The Rock in that, though, because everyone hated The Rock as the champion. Like, that's why I think that was okay.
So it's like
people didn't like the concept of the match, but they were like, oh, well, at least the guy who actually, works here is going to be the champion.
At least that title came back, right?
Yeah. And plus, it was the foregone conclusion, the most foregone conclusion of a foregone conclusion anyway. Like, everyone knew Cena was going to get that win.
Yeah, I think all three outcomes were pretty clear where they were going.
Because I'm still not sure Roman is winning on Sunday. I'm still not sure Roman is winning.
We'll definitely discuss this further on the show tomorrow night. I want to get into some other stuff. Speaking of John Cena, we have Rusev and John Cena squaring off again, with Rusev really coming on top. There was some comments, and I think this was more of a joke, but about how Rusev is really taken off without Lana, and I think it's interesting. I love the fire has been lit under his ass. Without Lana, with Lana, kind of having that moment of weakness and believing in him. It feels to me. What do you think about this going into it? I think even more so for all the reasons you were saying for WrestleMania and what kind of crowd that is, and much like I observed here in Pittsburgh, that everybody was behind Cena and everybody was behind USA. Because of that, you will not have as many John Cena hate chants in this match at WrestleMania.
It is interesting because you could bring Lana back at WrestleMania, and she could somehow be involved in the ending. And if Rusev loses, he could turn around and blame Lana and go through that whole deal. And it's kind of maybe a way to protect Rusev, maybe.
I really don't want that to be the thing, though.
I know you don't want it to be the thing, but you have to accept the fact that Cena is going to win. And I'm thinking that maybe if WWE is feeling like Rusev is something that's worth protecting, that maybe that would be the route they would go. Now, me personally, would prefer they not split those two up, because I don't know what you do with Lana without
Lana
Rusev.
becomes the American sympathizer.
She becomes C.J. Perry.
Does she ride around with a American flag bikini on a motorcycle? Like,
yes,
I've heard that
I love America, and she becomes John Cena's manager,
or she just suddenly develops a Brooklyn accent, and like, oh, just kidding, America,
Maybe she starts We the Peopling with Jack Swagger.
The only way I'll accept that is if Sergeant Slaughter takes her under his wing and shows her how to win back a country.
Oh, such a great opportunity for vignettes, isn't it?
Uh-huh. And then you could have it all culminate at SummerSlam, where the epitome of uber American Lana is she's at Coney Island eating a corn dog, riding the fucking cyclone. Like,
I love a greasy food. You Americans have it right. Chicken fries, hey!
Exactly. So, and there's a Burger King right there too. Like, but I wonder why that in the last 2 weeks to build WrestleMania, couldn't they delay a movie shoot?
I think
this is kind of when you need Lana. This is kind of when you need Lana the most to help build this match more.
But it works though. But it works though.
No, wait. He doesn't need her anymore. I mean, I think that's what we're learning, is that he doesn't need her. He's been awesome the last few weeks. He can talk for himself. He can cut his own promos. He's got just as much. He's just as hot now as he was a month ago.
I love
the package, but. Well,
yeah, I mean, we want Lana. That was kind of amazing that's happening. But again, we talked about how many a couple years ago we were just like, there's no good managers anymore. What happened to all these? And then we had Zeb Coder, we had Lana, we have Paul Heyman. The managers are back, and it's amazing. Now I miss them having stables. Like I miss the Slick stable and the Bobby Heenan stable and all that kind of stuff. I think Heyman had it for a minute there for a little bit. With Punk and Brock, for instance, but yeah, I think people want that, and it has a whole nother dynamic to it. And it wasn't like Lana didn't interfere that much, but she was a great showpiece. You know, she was like a really, you know, a cooler Miss Elizabeth, I think.
She's a talented Deborah.
Oh, I like that.
She's a talented Deborah. Like that's what it is. She's a very talented Deborah. I mean, but I feel like it takes away, because if you're going to have Lana separated from Rusev, you do that after he loses the belt, after he loses his streak. Like, you don't have her come back.
But then you have the opportunity. You need a story for Rusev afterwards when he does lose the streak and everything. And you have the reconciliation, and you have him and Lana just coming back together, and then it becomes the true Russian love story.
But you're not going to have that because she's going to be filming a movie.
Maybe they do it eventually. You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, maybe like next WrestleMania comes around and Rusev is in a match and they spot Lana in the 13th row and she's sitting there in her white and black sparkly outfit, and the next thing you know, Rusev loses and she comes into the ring and next is like
loses the Jack Swagger.
That people are crying.
This is the Warrior Savage thing you're trying to do, and Rusev Warrior and Savage.
Who?
I just came up with that on the spot. I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, this is a great original idea.
No, the Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man Randy Savage of Miss Elizabeth.
Hey Vince, all of this is free. All right, from me to you, buddy. Just thank me later, man.
WrestleMania 6. They've already.
Anyways, I don't know what fancy world Mike's in, but let's move on.
Right.
Let's move on to the rest of this Intercontinental title. We had a 2-on-2 match. Yeah, 4 people. Whatever. And of course, Dean Ambrose winning the poll by landslide, although I would have loved to see a striped face painted Stardust as a referee. Another tremendous match. I think it's interesting that we have had like Dolph Ziggler over Daniel Bryan like twice in a row. I kind of hope he's the winner on this one. Ambrose doesn't need the title, although he kind of started it. It would kind of be nice, I guess. But go either way. I think it was a fun build for that, and let's hope Luke Harper didn't get hurt.
Yeah, good point. Let me. That reminded me of maybe searching Twitter real quick. I'm still of the mind where I would like to see Bad News Barrett win, just because it would kind of just continue this thing going along. This whole Intercontinental.
They're going to Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
Remember, they're going to Extreme Rules, so they could step it up as Extreme Rules with maybe even 3 of the guys.
Yeah, if you don't have to do another like 7-man match, but if you want to do another one-on-one or if someone's like really close, and
they're trying to bring back the magic of the Money in the Bank. I mean, it's very obvious at this point. They're trying to bring that thing back to WrestleMania.
I think this is going to end up being a Bryan Ziggler feud as opposed to anyone else that's involved, because I have a feeling after this match we're going to go back to Stardust and Goldust. We're going to go back to Barrett not being used for anything, and we're going to get a 2 out of 3 falls match with Ziggler and Bryan at Extreme Rules. Like, it feels like that's kind of what they're building to, because as I've said, like, they know if Roman Reigns is leaving with that strap, people aren't going to like it. So they're going to put Daniel Bryan in as much of a fan service feud with that IC title as they possibly can, and it's going to be with Dolph Ziggler.
Put him in the opportunity to steal a show around the IC title. I think it'd be amazing. Yeah, you have that opportunity. You have the opportunity in the ladder match with that to build up like these other feuds. Like, I mean, how many things came out on Money in the Bank? You know, CM Punk against Paul Heyman as a whole.
You can have Goldust run out and push Stardust off the ladder.
Right, like the jealousy thing.
We could see Sheamus come out in the middle of the match or randomly attach himself to this match.
He's winning that Battle Royal.
Oh no, you could see Sheamus. You could see Sheamus coming out, kicking R-Truth, and entering himself in the match.
Oh, I would hate that though.
I know.
Well, yeah, but maybe
I think there's some comedy spots coming with him, with R-Truth.
I don't know. I think Sheamus is going to be in the Battle Royal, and he's just going to destroy everybody in it.
We started the show off. It's so long ago, 3 hours ago, that I almost forgot that Sting started this talking with his own voice, and getting in a scuffle with Stephanie McMahon. What do you guys think of that? Hey, it's the Sting that I remember. It's the Sting I know from TNA. It's not that stupid Joker thing. But I think they needed it. They definitely needed it. And this is the guy, And I think they played mysterious too much to a point. And they're like, hey, this is the thing you remembered, And no, if you're under 20, you probably didn't care. Sorry, it's not for you.
Nope. Unless you really want to see Triple H, get his whooping at WrestleMania. Who knows if we'll get that for sure. But I loved hearing Sting cut the promo live in front of that audience, just because it just feels, I feel tension whenever, whenever someone new, gets that microphone in that situation. But Sting you forget how good and polished and professional and experienced Sting is, and he just gets it and he just nails it. Did a great job.
I feel like there are going to be a lot of face victories at WrestleMania. Like, I feel like I can't foresee a match where a heel wins. Except for the Bellich wins. Like, honestly, that's the only match where I can see a heel winning.
I think Barrett is still. I think Barrett is still a possibility.
Oh no.
I think it's certainly.
He is getting shuffled down so fast it'll make your head spin. That's why he's been so dominant the past 2 weeks. He is getting shuffled down so quickly.
That's true.
That's true. Sorg, speaking of awesome promos tonight, Bray Wyatt.
Oh, I was gonna say chicken fries.
No, well, yeah, that one too. But I think it's worth mentioning Bray Wyatt's promo. Another person who can knock. Who can nail it every time, but you give him something with a little bit of meat to it. Usually he's just talking nonsense, just made up stuff. But if you give Bray Wyatt just a little bit of something to chew on, man, it just takes everything to another level.
This is taking
thunderstorms during the promo.
This is great. I tweeted during this. I really hope that Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt breaks down into a lightning fight like the good old days with Kane, just like an indie show breaks out into a dance battle in the middle of a match for no reason at all.
So you're hoping for the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, Sorg?
A little bit, yeah.
Where Bray Wyatt is Ronan the Accuser. He even said, "I find you guilty, Undertaker."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, all he needs is an Infinity Stone to be lighting that lantern, and boom. Marvel crossover, and then Batista comes out, and it'll be great.
Sorg wants that original first time Kane versus Undertaker feud where Kane's shooting fire out of the entrance ramp, and Undertaker's walking through it, and I'm gonna shoot lightning bolts at you. And,
here's where I admit I wasn't around for that one. I didn't get to witness that one until the tape that went back into the story, and it was just he did what with this? What?
Oh yeah, man, it's amazing.
And with that to the ministry to the other stuff, I'm loving this. I'm revisiting these WrestleManias, and that's the height of every one of those for the most part, right? And they recap, and it's they did what going into this thing? It was such they do the wrestling isn't wrestling with Triple H. They should do wrestling isn't wrestling with freaking Undertaker.
There's an hour long.
Oh my God, they won't do that until his career is finally over, though. But I mean, this reminds me of the Mania 20 build with Kane, because Kane, you had the ring shaking at one point. The Undertaker's power was so strong, he literally moved the ring back and forth, and Kane had no idea.
And that was a perfect point, because I was watching that one, I realized whoa, we didn't even see him until WrestleMania. Yeah. And that was I can't remember what happened that kind of.
It was here, I'll fill you in, Sorg. Because before WrestleMania 20, he was the American Badass.
Right, of course.
The American Badass, he was Booger Red, and then he had, and I want to say it was a Buried Alive match with Vince McMahon.
Oh, that's right.
Survivor Series of the previous year.
Yeah, 2003. And Kane was the one who came out and buried him alive, and I believe they even used construction equipment to bury him.
They did, yeah, I remember that.
Like a giant backhoe or a crane or whatever, but yeah, Kane was the one who buried him alive, and I remember him distinctly crawling on top of the dirt pile and just going, Undertaker, and then yeah,
and we've had the same thing. You haven't seen him for a year. You have no idea. There's all these rumors going around about what condition he's in. Plus, he just lost his first WrestleMania match in 20 years. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's definitely so many question marks. What are you going to get?
Unless you have Instagram.
Unless you have Instagram, of course. But still, for the general public, I don't think all of those 90,000 people are going to have Instagram. Wait, we are in Silicon Valley. Yeah.
Well, all right, to be fair, all those 90,000 people are not going to be following Michelle McCool on Instagram.
That's true, too. What? I thought he still was Sarah.
Oh, dear.
Oh, poor Sarah. He got DDP, oh good.
Jeez.
Wow. On that note, we've gone long. I'm sorry, guys. We're getting more WrestleMania talk than Raw talk, but it is the season, the last Raw wrap-up before WrestleMania. And, geez, you guys don't even have to do SmackDown this week. It's hardly even going to be a SmackDown.
Yeah.
That's okay. NXT and Lucha will make up for it.
Lucha.
Dario Cueto is signed for the win,
And by
baby.
the way, on NXT this week, we get to find out what NXT superstar is going to be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
That's right. That's right. Is that culminating? Are they doing that on the show? Or
I believe so.
I thought
think
it was
it's
at
a 4-man
Access.
tournament. Oh, is it Access?
I thought I saw it was Access. It may be. I might be wrong. But yeah, I thought it was an Access thing, which I wonder if that was going to be on any of those.
I think that might have been. I think if it's on Wednesday, that might have been Audible because Owens is injured.
Owens is injured. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, you should watch the midweek war, Sorg.
I've been busy. I've been trying to catch up on your panel ride talking about Blade Trinity.
Sure. All right.
Disagreeing with everything.
Sorg, there's only so much of me to go around the internet.
The panel rides about the movies are not to be missed. I cannot wait for the X-Men 3 panel ride. I'm gonna die. I hate that movie with so much of my being. I cannot wait to hear that one.
And Bobby is such an X-Men fan, too. I can't wait for him to rip it apart.
Just go check it out, people. Go find Panel Riot.
PanelRiot.com if you want to check that out. Our friend DJ Lunchbox and Mad Mike joined this week. I did one the previous week on Spider-Man 3.
We still have to talk about
Mad
Sorg.
Mike and I agree to disagree on both Spider-Man 3 and Blade Trinity.
Imagine if we had switched movies.
If we switched
Those would be two different podcasts.
Yeah, completely.
Different
I think we just need to do a separate special where we go head-to-head on those movies and just submit that to the stream.
Oh, I'm down.
We might do that. Okay, anyway, sorry, enough of that. WrestlingMayhemShow.com, so much going on there. We're doing 30 days of WrestleMania. I'm up through WrestleMania 23. I'm going to try to finish 24 and do one for tomorrow. I'm not going to make it to WrestleMania. We're going to finish it, but we're not getting finished by WrestleMania. I cannot see any way this is happening this week. But
Sorg, I believe in you.
It's still going to get done. I mean, it's still going to get done regardless. But I'm going to stick to that. But it's just I don't think we can find the time. I'm about an hour into WrestleMania 24, and they're all 4 hours, so I just don't have the time in the week for this thing.
You should make it a point to not watch WrestleMania 31 until you finish.
Fuck that. I don't like to swear on this extra. I'm doing this right at the end because I know not a lot of people get this far in this, but F that. Anyways.
Sorry, kids.
Sorry, kids. Past your bedtime anyways. What are you doing, kids? What are you doing staying up through an entire 3-hour Raw? You have school tomorrow. What the hell? Anyways, enough of that. Thanks, guys, everybody. WrestlingMayhemShow.com. Support our friends at IndieWrestling.us. Sign up for the newsletter for a free wrestling show with guys like AJ Styles on it. And I'll remember to list one of these days who else on it. It's a 100th show they did for IWC. Great stuff. CM Punk's been a part of that. Special right now, if you go to sorgatronmedia.com, there's actually an article about all the people we have in the catalog that have been to or going to be at WrestleMania. Pretty cool. So we just went through the catalog and said, hey, these guys are in WrestleMania. Here's some legends. Here's some Hall of Famers. Here's Corey Graves. He counts. He's going to be there, right? So go check that out. So much more. Please follow us on the social media. All the links over at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. At MadMike4883. At Mainstream Matt on the Twitters. I'm at Sorgatron. We'll see you guys next time.